Imagine a fortune so enormous and overwhelming that it would bring tears to a family's eyes. Not happy tears, but something much more intricate. The TV tycoon Simon Cowell, who is renowned for his witty remarks and even more astute business acumen, has amassed a fortune in the hundreds of millions. But what if this extraordinary fortune has a hidden cost, a choice regarding its destiny that can cause his loved ones to suffer? The enormity of Simon Cowell's triumph is where we start our story. He has an incredible net worth of $600 million as of 2025. His work as a judge and producer on popular series like Pop Idol, American Idol, The X Factor, and the Got Talent shows has given him this enormous wealth. Additionally, he amassed a fortune from signing and marketing musicians like Little Mix. However, Simon's path to this wealth was not always easy. He nearly lost everything at one point before the private planes and expensive automobiles. He attempted to get into the music industry in the early 1980s, first with a company named E&S Music and subsequently with Fanfare Music. He even collaborated with singer Sunita on a successful song in 1986, but his business failed in 1989 and he came dangerously close to going bankrupt. At the time, he owed the bank over £500,000, a substantial sum of money. To pay off his debts, he even had his expensive Porsche seized. He was compelled to return home with his parents because he had nowhere else to go. It was more than simply a setback during this time of severe financial difficulties when he lost nearly all he had worked so hard to build. Simon, however, is a warrior. He recovered by working as an assistant who discovers fresh talent for BMG, a major music label. Under BMG, he founded his own record label, S Records. Robson and Jerome, two TV actors who released a song called Unchained Melody, were among the performers he signed as a result. This song sold millions of copies and shot to the top of the UK charts, where it remained for 7 weeks. Together, Robson and Jerome sold 5 million singles and 7 million albums. Simon added that they gave him his first $1 million. He collaborated with Westlife and Five, among other well-known bands. However, how did someone who owing £500,000 end up with hundreds of millions of pounds? His keen sense of talent and his much more astute financial acumen in the television industry hold the key to the solution. After competing on Pop Idol in the UK in 2001 and American Idol in the US in 2002, Simon Cowell rose to fame. He became well known for his incisive, honest, and frequently direct remarks, even though they occasionally offended others. He began his career on American Idol earning $8 million a season, but his fame soon spread and by 2005 his pay soared to an estimated $36 million a season. Later on, he was even given an incredible $45 million a season, but he decided to quit the show. His total wealth when he left American Idol was at least $204 million. Simon, however, wasn't satisfied with his role as a judge. Under his own business, Psycho, he produced his own program, The X Factor, in 2004. America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent are part of the Got Talent franchise, which he also started. He grew much wealthier as a result of these shows' global success. According to reports, he made up to $75 million for The X Factor in 2012 and 2013. According to UK media, he earned approximately £6 million, or $6.08 million, per season for Britain's Got Talent and The X Factor, in addition to his earnings as a producer. Although his yearly income fluctuated, Forbes magazine estimated it to be $95 million in 2013, and in 2020, $51 million. His company, Psycho Entertainment, had an interesting commercial path as a result of the success of his show. A significant portion of Simon's fortune came from his business, Psycho Entertainment. In 2005, Sony Music acquired a substantial portion of Psycho, and the two companies collaborated for many years. Many musicians were launched through the TV shows as a result of this successful cooperation. However, Simon took a bold step in 2020. He repurchased Sony Music's ownership of Psycho Entertainment. As a result, he assumed complete control over television programs, including The X Factor and Got Talent. Soon after, the Psycho Music label itself ceased operations, and Sony retained the music portion of Psycho, including its performers and older tracks. This string of significant commercial transactions demonstrates a wise shift in Simon's priorities. He regained total control over the most renowned and lucrative aspects of his enterprise by regaining full ownership of the TV series. This implies that as the music industry evolved, he saw that the greatest financial gain and potential for future expansion lay in the TV program concepts he developed rather than in the traditional methods of managing a record firm. Simon Cowell owns several incredible residences thanks to his enormous riches. His real estate holdings are just as amazing as his profession. However, each of these magnificent residences has a unique backstory. He owned a £45 million property in London's Holland Park for many years. However, he sold it in 2023. Why? Because of a number of frightening instances, such as a 2015 burglary where valuables and passports were taken while his family slept. He no longer felt safe living there. Simon was always afraid when a lady in 2012 broke into his bathroom with a brick. Even though he invested £500,000 in protection, a criminal group allegedly sold a duplicate of his front door lock. Thus, he decided to leave London and relocate to the more tranquil countryside with his son Eric and partner Lauren Silverman. Don't feel sorry for him, though. In Malibu, California, Simon also has a magnificent mansion by the sea. This location, which features a private tennis court, a garage full of supercars, and expansive views of the ocean, is a true masterpiece. It has been valued at $24 million and $32 million, respectively. Simon frequently takes Christmas vacations to Barbados, where he loves to spend time. He has even rented out a lavish mansion there to his former Factor judges. In 2020, this same 10-bedroom mansion, known as Cove Spring House, was listed for £19.7 million, or almost $25 million USD. It features a cinema, a gym, a large 75-foot pool, and its own private beach. Simon even gave the gym there a unique exercise machine known as a power plate. The Cove Spring House is a private estate that is rented out when its owner is away, despite reports that he has viewed the property and plans to purchase it for up to £10 million. Although it's unclear if he owns Cove Spring House, he clearly intended to establish himself there and purchase a beachfront home because he likes the island and has visited many really opulent locations. Beyond his opulent residences, Simon Cowell's incredible automobile collection amply demonstrates his love of luxury and speed. With some of the world's fastest and priciest cars, his garage is a car enthusiast's paradise. It is estimated that the total value of his automobile collection is approximately $1.03 million. A Bugatti Veyron is one of his collection's crown jewels. This vehicle is an engineering marvel and incredibly quick. It can achieve high speeds of nearly 250 miles per hour and accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 2.5 seconds because to its potent 1001 horsepower engine. The value of this amazing equipment alone is a cool $1 million. The Rolls-Royce Phantom is another vehicle that exudes elegance and grandeur. As a blatant indication of his prominence, Simon frequently shows up in his Phantom to important occasions like live auditions. This vehicle, which costs at least $500,000, is renowned for its quiet and comfortable ride. He also has a $300,000 Rolls-Royce Ghost and a vintage Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 3. Simon's passion for Italian speed is demonstrated by the number of Ferraris in his collection. A Ferrari California, which costs approximately £140,000 or $170,000, is one example of this. He has a Ferrari 360 as well as an F430. The Ferrari 458 Italia is another. When new, it starts at around $300,000. His collection also includes a number of Bentleys, which are renowned for their ability to combine performance with luxury. A Bentley Continental GT and a Bentley Continental Convertible, which retail for about $225,000 new, are included in this. He owns a Bentley Azure as well. In addition, Simon owns a number of Jaguars ranging from vintage beauties to cutting-edge beasts. These include the vintage Jaguar XE120, the about $70,000 Jaguar F-Type Coupe, and the Jaguar E-Type Series 2. The Jaguar Eagle Speedster, one of his most costly vintage vehicles, can sell for more than $2 million at auction. He even possesses a potent Lamborghini Urus, which is said to be worth $200,000. And a brand new Tesla Model S valued at over $100,000. He even has an Aston Martin DB7 and a compact, useful, clever 4.2, which is his most economical vehicle at about $20,000. In contrast to his public persona as a tough businessman who is solely concerned with his job, this aspect of his life reveals a side of Simon that enjoys luxury, speed, and high craftsmanship for his personal enjoyment. Now, Ma is the portion of the story that really leaves you wondering, the choice that might make his family cry. Simon Cowell has made a startling declaration on who will inherit his enormous $600 million fortune. He has made it clear that his son, Eric, will not be given any of his money. Simon's profound beliefs regarding wealth are the source of this startling statement. He has declared his intention to donate his money to charitable causes, most likely to help children and dogs. "I don't believe in that passing on from one generation to another," he told Esquire magazine. Rather than merely leaving a fortune, he believes that a person's true legacy should involve sharing knowledge and providing opportunity to others. He desires that his fortune not just benefit his family, but also people in genuine need. It's true that Simon supports a lot of charities. He supports Together for Short Lives and serves as vice president of Shooting Star Children's Hospices. In addition, he supports animal charities like Battersea Dogs Home, RSPCA, and PETA, as well as the Katie Piper Foundation, which aids burn victims. He has contributed to the fundraising efforts for the victims of the 2010 Haitian earthquake and serves as an ambassador for the renowned children's hospital, Great Ormond Street Hospital. In addition, he backs organizations like Help for Heroes and Hope Sanctuary, Barbados. It's important to note that Simon Cowell, the creator of the Wildlife Aid Foundation, started a Simon's Last Wish campaign after receiving a terminal lung cancer diagnosis. Even if this isn't the music mogul Simon Cowell, it demonstrates the broad influence of charity giving. Given that Simon has talked about how having Eric as a son in 2014 transformed his life, this decision is very intriguing. He claimed that although he never imagined being a father, something changed and I began to view life quite differently. He even said that he became genuinely fixated upon seeing Eric's scan for the first time. He now considers Eric when making decisions. Lauren Silverman, his partner, added that after becoming a father, he came to the realization that life is so much more than just raising a family and that having all of this is useless if you don't have anybody with whom to share it. This scenario poses a compelling conundrum. Prior to Eric's birth, Simon made it known that he would donate his money to charity since he firmly believed in helping others and achieving success on one's own. He did, however, talk about a significant change in his priorities and emotions after Eric entered his life, the unanswered inquiry. The title raises the question of whether fatherhood has softened his heart and caused him to reconsider his will, or if his long-held beliefs about inherited wealth will finally prevail, and Eric will not receive a direct inheritance from his enormous fortune. The emotional strain that results from this looms over his financial future. The inheritance tax regulations add still another level of complexity to this picture. Simon has a lot of assets in the UK. The tax rate on anything over a specific level can reach 40% for really substantial fortunes. However, if 10% of the estate's worth is donated to charity, this percentage can be lowered to 36%. Simon's primary motivation for his inheritance plans is his personal beliefs, but using legal mechanisms known as trusts can also help lower the tax burden. For those with large sums of money, the tax advantages of charitable contributions are a genuine and useful factor. Even Simon Cowell, who is a prominent character, has to deal with difficult situations and public drama. His life has been impacted by his personal struggles in ways that many might not anticipate. After fainting in 2017, he experienced a terrifying fall down the stairs at his London residence. Later, doctors said that low blood pressure was the cause. He vowed to look after himself better for Eric's sake, calling it a great shock and a lesson that he's not indestructible. Additionally, Simon has had 2 severe incidents involving electric motorcycles, both of which were extremely strong models. He fell off a new electric motorcycle he was testing at his Malibu home in August 2020, breaking his back. A metal rod was inserted into his back to repair it after 6 hours of surgery. The accident even caused long-term damage to his nerves. He claimed that the accident had a purpose since it had shown him how unfit he was and allowed him to recuperate during the lockdown. He still adores his bikes in spite of this traumatic event. In 2022, he was involved in another serious e-bike accident. Simon was probably forced to consider his own life and the things that really mattered as a result of these health scares, particularly the fainting spell and the severe back injury. He likely looked within as a result of the physical discomfort and protracted recuperation times, which either strengthened his pre-existing convictions about his legacy or, conversely, strengthened his closeness with Eric and caused him to reconsider his plans for his inheritance. These potentially fatal incidents might have had a profound impact on his personal beliefs and, consequently, how he handled his fortune and family, which would have further complicated the enigma surrounding his inheritance. As a judge, Simon's direct and frequently caustic remarks were a major factor in his notoriety. He was frequently referred to as the antagonist of American Idol, a position he performed admirably, and was renowned for saying things like, "I don't mean to be impolite," but before tearing into contestants. He made fun of the competitors' weight, referred to them as bush babies, or said things like, "They're the worst singer in the world." He notably admitted that he was not a singer or dancer to a competitor named William Hung. His publicist Max Clifford helped shape this aggressive persona, which was intended to generate drama and boost TV ratings. Behind the scenes, the concerts themselves were embroiled in numerous scandals. There have been allegations of overuse of manufactured scenes with sob tales to elicit strong feelings from viewers. Sponsors also experienced problems with product placement, as some goods, such as hotels or Nokia phones, were blatantly displayed too frequently. Others thought they were being misrepresented or exploited on television. One X Factor UK candidate, for instance, said that producers pushed him to come out as gay on stage before he was ready and even promoted uncomfortable situations to elicit stronger emotional reactions. The drama was heightened by Simon's private life, which also garnered media attention. It was revealed in 2013 that Lauren Silverman, the wife of his friend, was expecting his child. Simon was named in the court documents when her spouse filed for divorce. Later, they reached an out-of-court settlement, and on Valentine's Day of 2014, their son, Eric, was born. Simon Cowell became one of the most influential people in industry after starting an empire from the ground up and going bankrupt. His mansions are opulent, his automobiles are the stuff of dreams, and he has a huge wealth. While developing a worldwide brand, he has dealt with personal struggles such as health concerns and public disputes. However, the question still stands. Would his family actually cry over this enormous fortune, not because they are sad, but rather because of a startling choice for its future? The eventual destiny of Simon's fortune is complicated by his long-held beliefs about inheritance, his strong dedication to charitable work, and the significant influence of fatherhood. His financial legacy's last chapter has not yet been written, so many people are left wondering.